Well, what is going on, Agape City? It is a Brad here out in the, looks like a nature reserve, doesn't it? Like I can hear the birds. It's like, I think this is it. I think this is the real spring. Yeah, I'm gonna call it real spring. I'm emptying out the gas out of my snowblower today, so if it snows again, you'll know it's my fault. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here because it's Monday morning, and every Monday morning we jump on here for a quick little Monday morning pastor. And today I'll share a little bit of wisdom I heard. Actually, I only heard this like a couple years ago. And I'll be honest with you, it's this little adage. I'm not 100% sure if it's true or not. It should be true, but the principle is great. And the story goes that there's a difference between the ways that like horses handle storms on the plains and buffaloes handle storms on the plain. If you go to like the Colorado or somewhere out west, whenever there's like horses just grazing in the open range and they sense a storm coming in the west, what they'll tend to do is scatter from one another, and they'll tend to run towards the east, run away from the storm. And but the problem is, you can't outrun a storm, right? The storm's going to come at some point. And so when the storm catches up to them, now the horses are scattered, they're tired, and all they can do is just weather the storm alone. But what's interesting is the way that buffaloes interact with the storms. Because buffaloes don't do that. But they don't scatter. Buffalo do the exact opposite. They all bunch up. And they don't run to the east away from the storm. They all turn and face west. And they start to march towards the storm. And by doing that, they get together, so there's safety in numbers, and they go towards with the perceived danger because they're going to go right into it together, and they're going to get through it together. And actually, by going towards it, they get through it faster than if they would have ran away from it. I think about that for our life. I think about that for us. Like, are we all just kind of like panicking because of what we see in the news and panicking because of what we see in culture, and we're scattering from one another and just running around in our minds exhausted from the chaos of this world? Or are we bunching up together, looking at what is evil and saying, hey, that's not going to win. So we're just going to march towards it together, and we're going to get through this together. So let me ask you, do you have your buffalo? Do you have your people that march through your storms with you? I know I do. I found them this year, and I'm so grateful and so blessed to have them in my life. But do you have those people around you? And I pray today that maybe you could make one more relationship that would bolster that group so you can have the strength you need to weather whatever life throws at you. I think that's what Jesus was trying to do when he created his church. He said it's not good for man to be alone. He said that back in Genesis, and he gave us marriage. But Paul says in Ephesians chapter 5, but marriage is like this metaphor that kind of like represents what the church is. And I just don't think it's good for us to be alone either. So I think community matters. I think church matters. And I think if we have our buffaloes around us, we can face anything. Go get them this Monday, church. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out of here.